Today's edition of AchtungMillwall is dedicated to the memory of Arthur Labinho Hughes.
You're listening to AchtungMillwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome to a beautiful sunny afternoon here at the Den. Joining me on this very special edition of AchtungMillwall is the BBC's two rising stars, Mr. Aaron Paul. Welcome back to the show. Aaron, long time no see, mate.
I like to think I'm half decently established now, and they come in. I've got my own show on BBC Radio 5 by 5.9 million listeners across the UK. You can speak to my colleague. I'm going to go and sing Roy Green.
Join me now is Amir, Aaron's colleague. Welcome to the show, Amir.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Nice down here, Millwall.
Birmingham City take the field in their yellow and blue, dear listeners. The Lions obviously in their familiar dark blue and white. Gary Rowett makes 3 changes, reports the news at Den, dear listeners, from that defeat up there at Humberside. Disappointing defeat, I thought, last week. What did you make of it? I thought it was pretty, again, given away on balance. But anyway, Scott Malone, Jake Cooper and George Evans replaced Saville, Ojo and the injured Dan Ballard. That bad news in the week, devastating news. The 3-month-out injury to Dan Ballard and also to Ryan Leonard, another major injury from Ryan Leonard. Your Millwall starting 11 there for dear listeners. Bart Bielkowski in goal. Back line will be Murray Wallace, Jake Cooper, Sean Hutchinson, Danny Mack and Scott Malone on either side of that back line. Midfield today is George Evans and Billy Mitch. Front 3 will be Bennett Gafobi, Tom Bradshaw coming into the side, and of course, who else but Jed Wallace. There will be some applause on 6 minutes today. I don't know if the game's going to actually stop or whether they will continue. I hope it stops. There's going to be a round of applause for the poor young boy Arthur, who perished at the hands of his step-parents. Awful case. I can't actually bring myself to read the horrific details, but it's going to be a joint round of applause from both sets of fans on 6 minutes today. It'll be Millwall that kick us off, attacking the away end in the first half in accordance with English law and legislation since the time of the ancient Venerable Bede. And away we go.
And so it's very nice of Scott Malone to go full Macaulay Culkin and dye his hair blonde for the festive season.
Macaulay Culkin, I hadn't thought of that one. He looks totally different, doesn't he? Absolutely. A few jars in the Old Salt Key, listeners. A very nice riverside location. I had a little spot of luncheon.
Yeah, was it good?
Steak and ale pie and chips. Very nice.
Mate, the wings were excellent.
But I was on the soft drinks, listeners, due to my condition.
We've got the half-time oranges ready, the easy peelers for all that are interested. This week, sponsored by M&S.
Ball over the top there on 1 minute for Bennett Gafobi on the right. He's taking on the 21. He draws a free kick. He does. Right side of the Birmingham penalty area. Early chance for the Lions to make something happen. Jed Wallace standing over the ball. It's almost a Brazilian style kit that Birmingham are wearing out there today. Yellow and blue with white stockings. Scott Malone, pardon me, he's now over the ball. Jed's come more centrally. 6-yard box packed with Jake Cooper, Sean Hutchinson, Tom Bradshaw's in there. George Evans just outside the 6-yard box. What can we do? 1 minute 48 on the clock. It's taken short, says Jed. Ball floated in. That should be a corner.
Why wouldn't you have a go from there? Acute angle, you've got a chance.
I thought that took a deflection over the bar, but nothing given.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you have a go from Malone?
I would,
Going out, jink it wide, let someone have a go.
Beautiful sunny day here in South East London, dear listeners. Floodlights are on. It will get dark, obviously, early now, as we come towards Christmas time. The magnificent view of Canary Wharf in the sunshine. What more could you want? What better view is there in world football?
Well, I mean, as I always mention, you've got the silhouette of the waste incineration plant to our right. Well, it looks like they've shut down for the day, though.
I think it's one of the iconic views in world football.
Well, maybe COVID's affecting business at the moment. Brexit, COVID.
Who knows?
I wonder if there'll be any cherry pickers from Derby in January.
Well, I mean, their form's actually not been too bad. They've had a couple of wins, a couple of decent results.
But they got some players.
I don't know. I thought Reading didn't do bad business, Aaron, by Andy Carroll, signing Andy Carroll. here is the picture of Arthur. Young boy's image on the main screen. The play has stopped. Story. Got a lovely gesture, both ends and all sides of the ground coming together for that. Players restarted, dear listeners, 6 minutes. This is back to Danny Mack now on 9 minutes. All down the right side. Ball into the middle, that's been cut out for corner. Nice move, Millwall. Tom Bradshaw. Right-sided corner. So 9 minutes on the clock. Chance for Jed again from this right-sided corner to float it into the middle. We've not made terribly much of our set pieces this season. Someone said that on Twitter the other day, and I'm stealing it. And it's true. Ball into the middle. It falls to Bradshaw. 1-0 Millwall. Falls to Murray Wallace. Ball bouncing around inside the penalty area. Falls to Murray Wallace. The killer.
Mate. Cool, calm, composed from the big man.
Nicely slammed home, in fairness to him. Nicely ball away.
It's like he's done it before. Finally a decent set piece routine.
1-0 Millwall. Ideal start for the Lions, dear listeners. Just what we needed. 10 minutes on the stadium clock. Nicely executed chance by Murray Wallace there. Ball in from the corner in from the right side. Bit of ping pong, it fell to Murray. He put it away very nicely indeed. Bright start by the Lions, listeners, as we tick towards 13 minutes. Oh, it's Lee Bowyer, isn't it? It's Lee Bowyer, who's the manager of Birmingham City.
You sound like you're setting the scene for seduction there.
Miserable faced Lee Bowyer image on the screen here, listeners.
He just loves fishing, doesn't he? He loves fishing, Lee.
Does he?
Yeah, he owns fishing lakes, I think.
I don't know that.
Yeah, he loves fishing and wine, apparently. Very interesting.
I didn't know that.
Wanted to be a manager, went to Charlton and got given the job.
He never looks happy.
No.
He never looks happy.
Never sounds happy either.
Downbeat.
Elmer Fudd.
Fun. We did try, as Aaron was saying, we did try and sneak into the exec lounge, but it was all sold out today.
Two-bit organisation.
We couldn't get in, dear listeners.
They said if your name ain't on the door, right, come in.
Meanwhile, there's a kind of a corner Millwall on the right side. Good start by the Lions, listeners. We need to really make this pay now. We're one goal ahead already. A second one will be absolutely wonderful. It's Scott Malone to take this time. He swung it in, almost swung it. It's direct in. It's into the side netting. Worth a go. Come to all 16 minutes. Little 1-2 and Tom Bradshaw. Danny Mack gets the cross into the box. Nice header by Benicafobia, just over the bar. Nice move. Little ball, angle ball back. Afobia got down low. Nice move, Aaron.
A bit more slower, but they're taking the time and they're getting the right passes.
Yeah. We were looking very much in control at this stage, I would say. 26 minutes, Amir. Millwall in control for you at the moment, mate?
Yeah, it's looking good. They're looking in control.
Birmingham, really?
No, not even. I don't even think they had a shot on target, have they?
Nothing. No. Long ball over the top for Tom Bradshaw to chase it down. It's hoofed basically anywhere by the goalkeeper. It does fall eventually to a Birmingham shirt. Do visit Picture Publishing, dear listeners, for the Millwall Who's Who book. It's a wonderful one from production by our own Neil Fizzler, as well as Chris Bethel, Jim Creasy and Dave Sullivan. 1999 on victorpublishing.co.uk. Every Millwall player that's played for us ever, and it is ever as well. I mean, the depth of research on it is something quite incredible, so do check that out. 34 minutes nearly, and ball's into the box. That's headed over for a goal kick. Game's gone off the boil somewhat for me, listeners. Last few minutes, really. Both sides looking rather average at the moment, and there's every opportunity to spark something. It's been a bit kick and hope at times. Referee dominating, really. Nice take by Sean Hush as he tries to feed it through. There's his Billy Mitchell. Midfield does well to win the ball back there. Gives Benik Afobe a chase now. He's tried to work. That's going to go for a left-sided corner. Nicely done. Benik Afobe, 39, comes towards 40 minutes. Chance for Mills to get the ball in from the left side now. Scott Malone will take. In it comes from Scott Malone. It's deep. It's 2-0. Bullet header. Tom Bradshaw! Left-sided post. He put that away with aplomb, dear listeners. With authority, Aaron.
Is he playing it into his way into a new contract, Nick?
2-0 Millwall. Nicely done.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Nice to see Tom Bradshaw back amongst the goals, dear listeners. Both of our corners have produced goals. I've been knocking our set-piece routines all game, haven't I, listeners? That'll learn me. But both of the corners, it just dawned on me, have produced goal-scoring situations in this game so far. Anyway, wrap up Nick, basically. There's a ball over the top, finds Benik Afobe. He takes and turns quite nicely. Tries to spread play, but straight into the path of a yellow shirt. 18 brings away. Good work there by George Evans. He's been something of a critical figure so far this season, but he's actually done quite well for me this half.
Stability, isn't he?
Yeah, he cleared that quite nicely. This is the 24. That's going to go for a right-sided corner. Well,
yeah.
Gross. There's the half-time whistle, whilst Aaron tells me about Hasbulla. 2-0 for the Lions. I'd say we were pretty much in control of that half, largely speaking.
Happy days, man. I mean, when was the last time you saw a half like that? I don't think they've had a shot on target.
No.
They haven't really offered much, apart from a couple of hairy moments at the back, but that's Millwall's own.
No, it's been Millwall.
And a couple of solid finishes. There's no happy days, guys. The festive season is upon us.
Yeah, good stuff so far, listeners. So there we are. Half-time, Millwall 2, Birmingham City 0.
Achtung, Millwall.
It's not often I get to talk to my mate Aaron since his career's taken off. You've been doing really well, mate. You're reviving the fan shows, you were saying, weren't you?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're able to announce that yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, we kind of can. We basically, well, I've gone back into BBC Radio London, obviously.
Yeah.
I've been working with 5 Live, but
yeah.
I've always sort of made no secret about it that I wanted to go back. The way I left in 2018 to go to Love Sport wasn't how I wanted it to be, so when the opportunity arose to go back and do a show on a Monday night, I said yes. I went in, did a show, and I turned around to management and said, look, if you want to do something proper, I've got an idea, let's have a chat. We pitched it the next day, and literally straight away it was unanimous yes.
Yeah, go for it.
We really want it. So we started off trialling a few fan shows, clubs that we've got commentary rights to. We're giving precedent to them, and they've really flown. So they're Monday nights 7 till 8 on BBC Radio London, and of course you'll be hopefully joining us in the new year, Nick, because
absolutely.
we had a gig until the gig lasted until the 13th of December. Until 13th of December. And then they take a break for Christmas. London have a different schedule over Christmas.
Yeah.
That's how they do things. And then from January we'll be back with London football fan shows. Really buzzing to be part of it, mate.
Looking forward to it.
It's the best scene. It's the best patch out there. The best football patch. Yeah. It's a patch I love so much. And I get to work with fans like yourself, and I get to work with clubs as well. The benefit we have, and I'll say this to fans now. We have so much more to offer with the fan shows now. Because we are the BBC.
That's a bigger scale of
into these clubs. We pay for rights into these clubs. This isn't like a Love Sport where we have no material, no access to players, nothing like that. No. So expect more.
Excellent.
Expect player interviews. Expect players to come on the show. Expect big names to come on the show, because that's what you'll get.
Fantastic. The basic. We did it with Love Sport, listeners, as you'll probably remember. But I used to say, we used to discuss it, didn't we? What a great idea, what a great concept. It's made for the city of the Greater London, with all of its 12 plus clubs now, probably 13 with Sun. Great idea, so really looking forward to it, mate.
I'll tell you what, 0800 731 2000. We'd love to hear from you guys. The biggest thing is calls. We want to hear. This is your opportunity. A lot of Football League fans, and I've got a lot of Millwall fans. By the way, thank you to those who called 606 a few weeks ago. The Millwall fans who called in, I really appreciate it, because I wanted calls from Millwall fans. Because,
Yeah.
You know, I've got a lot of love for this club, and I've got a relationship with this club. I want to hear from your supporters and be called. But the BBC London show is your opportunity to phone in now. It's your opportunity to have your say. If you feel like you can't phone in 606 when Savage and Sutton are presenting because, you know, you don't feel comfortable, there's a top four narrative, fine. This is your opportunity now. We've sorted it out. 0800 731 2000. You'll obviously promote when the Monday nights look out the BBC London Sports Twitter account and Facebook page to tell you when they are. We'll probably put up a bit of a calendar as to what fan shows go up when, and just really looking forward to bringing them to you guys in the new year.
There we are, looking forward to that much, listeners, so keep your ears out for that. We'll be posting whenever we can to support Aaron. I always knew he was good. The moment I clapped eyes on Aaron at Love Sport and I walked in there like a gibbering wreck to go doing live radio, and there he was. I always knew he'd go a long way, so that's the proof of the pudding there. So yeah, New Year, the return of the London fan shows, this time via the BBC's, and with their resources, as Aaron says, so look forward to that in the new year.
Achtung, Millwall.
Here come the lines for the second half, dear listeners. 2-0 ahead. We really should not be letting this situation go from here, Aaron, should we?
Not at all. Keep it locked up nicely, maybe go for the third as well.
It's Gary Rowett type football time, I think.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a midfielder coming, someone like a Clifton Bell.
Or maybe a Clifton Bell, yeah.
Clifton Bell come in for, my bet would be a Phobe. Get Jed and Wallace up top of the
Phobe's not been that effective. He's struggled
because he's been man-marked out of the game.
Yeah.
Everywhere he is, George Friendly.
So here we go. Birmingham to kick us off for the second period. We'll be attacking their fans in the upper deck of the away end. Lions will be attacking the Coldblow Lane end, as per the edicts laid down by the Venerable Bede in the 9th century, Anglo-Saxon England. There we go. There goes Jed. Nice 1-2 with Benica Phobe. Jed beats his man on the left. He's into the penalty area. What can he do? Corner. Tackled at the last by the 34 as he wove into the box. Nice bright early start for the Lions. Early left-sided corner. There he is. Michael Avery joins us.
How are we, gentlemen?
Who joins us after the pre-match drinks? And it comes from the left, balls in towards Jed. That's going to go for a goal kick. Should have been a left-sided corner. Referee's not been on our side, Amir, has he? Giving us nothing, mate.
Every 50-50's gone to
Gone the other way.
Yeah.
Gone the other way.
We're inquiring in the moment about some potential Harry Warren voodoo dolls, so if anyone's interested, let us know.
That will be a good buy for Christmas.
They will sell like hotcakes on Blue Friday, dear listener.
Maybe for Midsummer's Night or something like that, when the witching hour comes.
We can get the mail order as well if you're not good on the old interwebs.
He does draw a lot of flack, poor old Harry.
No, but he's a good lad.
He's a lovely boy. I love him to death.
So
but a voodoo doll that you can put
try and sit in the back of a cab with him, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
he's our boy, mate.
This is Tom Bradshaw. Takes for Jed Wallace. Beautiful take and touch there. He falls to Tom Bradshaw. Shot on goal. Beautiful stop by the goalkeeper. Great shot there from Tom Bradshaw from a very tight right-sided angle. 53 minutes. Unlucky Tom Bradshaw with the confidence to take and turn and shoot there. Ball down the left now. Birmingham on the break into the Mill penalty area. That's across the face of the goal. It's going to go for a corner.
Give a goal kick. There you go.
Goal kick. It's a goal kick. He didn't know what to do there. He didn't know what decision to give there.
I'm not being funny. The ball goes out. You can't have 10-20 seconds of neither official knows what.
Well, if you don't know, you've got to give it to the defending side, haven't you? As darkness descends, the atmosphere ramps up here at the Den. This is the 36s. Deeney, nice ball through to the 9. His shot is blocked into the box. Goal kick. I thought that was going to go in the net for a moment. Ball through. This is great goal by Troy Deeney. 2-1.
What did I say 2 minutes before? Good player, find space, bang, there you go.
Troy Deeney having a go at the crowd. That will go down well. 2-1. Basically a 1-2 down the middle, and then Troy Deeney blasts home very well.
Exactly. And the thing is as well, all jokes aside, Yeah, we know he's in the Championship now, but last season he's in the Premier League. He's a Premier League striker. He knows where that half yard is.
Quality turn. Beautiful strike by Deeney there, Amir. Put that one away. Very good player.
I feel like Millwall have taken the lead too early, isn't it?
Yeah. That gives a different feel. 2-1. Yeah.
That's all they've done.
It was
all
a
game.
Premier League finish.
Yeah. It's all they've done all game, and they've scored.
And we have a blue flare at the Birmingham end. Looks like that flare landed in amongst the disabled fans down there. There's a little bit of I don't know if it's a tension being given to one fan down in the wheelchair. Tom Bradshaw, nicely done finds Danny Mack. Balls into the box, but that's going to be put back to Danny Mack. Jed Wallace now.
McNamara's good, but he just doesn't.
Tom Bradshaw takes some turns. That's going to go for a right-sided corner. That disabled fan looks like it's getting a little bit of medical attention down there.
I've never seen a player warm up as slowly as Alex Pearce in my life.
In these 2 weeks.
He reminds me of Madge on the Zimmer frame in
2 weeks' notice, you mean?
Yeah.
Right-sided corner. I've got half an eye on the fan down there and half an eye on the corner. By Scott Malone, it's floated in from the right. It's into the punched up and away by the goalkeeper. Ball bouncing around. It's in there from close range. Ball floating back. It's Benicophobe. Slammed over from close. Offside. Fuck. Flag up. Offside. Jed overlapping ball into the middle. Balls to Billy Mitchell. Great work, Billy Mitchell, persistent on the left side there. It'll be a free kick. Appeals for a penalty there. I don't think he's inside the box. Goal kick. He's given a goal kick other than a free kick. Great work by Billy Mitchell leading into that.
I'm surprised though, considering what we're nearly at 65 minutes and Saville's not been introduced yet. So I mean, it's probably a compliment to the midfield so far, but you'd expect if he was on the bench, George Saville to be looking at getting an appearance about now, when with 30 minutes to go.
Ball out wide, Danny Mack. He's found Jed Wallace in the box. This is Benicophobe's on target down low, harmed away by the goalkeeper. Should he have done better there, Amir?
He had the whole goal to shoot at. He should have done keeper. Yeah.
Basically, he should have done a lot better. He's had a poor game.
Stick it in the corner.
He's not had a good game.
If that was the bod.
Oh, yeah.
Right-sided corner.
Daddy out of his Zampa
Well, if that was John Daddy, he would have put that in the net.
You know what I mean? If he wasn't being Bellina at half-time, he would have buried that. I mean, the question is as well, all seriousness, if you was an away fan, would you be happy with this performance? You know, like,
as a Birmingham fan?
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy with this.
They've had one moment.
They've only turned up in the second half. But what you can blame Gary Rowett for is the lack of substitutions.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes when we say it in the den, sometimes you've got to look at the game from the away fans.
It's just going a little bit
if you travelled away and watched this. And if you're Birmingham, you wouldn't be.
No, you wouldn't be.
Why has Mr. Byford now got a load of takeaway boxes in his office?
It's lonely up there.
He's starting to.
I reckon Byford now's the administrator for Deliveroo, because they look like Deliveroo boxes, don't they?
He's got knives and forks and everything. Look.
There you go.
Jed Wallace combining well with Danny Mack on the right side. He done well to win the ball there. Ball into the box. Jules Evans! 3-1 Jules Evans! Top corner! El Maestro!
I'll tell you this now, dear listener, don't you ever fucking speak ill of George Evans again. Ever. What a finish.
Top corner, top left-hand corner, then goes Berserker!
To be fair, it was probably a clearance, but it still went in the top corner.
Let's see it again. Good work there. Who's that by? That's by Danny Mack. The ball puts across the penalty area and really nicely hit home by Jules Evans. People going for home over in the Birmingham end. Great finish.
Michael's on the promotion train.
There we go.
He's bought a ticket.
But
but this is where it's mental, though, isn't it? Like, because
it's such a tight division.
It's so tight. Like we had two poor results, well, not poor results. We had the Bournemouth game and the whole game. Yeah. 1 point from 6. We dropped like a stone. One game back to winning. If it stays like this, and then bang, you're 3 points outside.
But there's always time to slag off Lee Bowyer.
Yeah, fuck him. Yeah. And Gary Rowett if you're Harry.
Well, we can't do it today. But Bowyer's next best thing on the ball forward.
You can see George Evans after that master.
Here goes Shed, dispossesses the 34, he's into the penalty. What would Shed do? Shots on target, falls to Scott Malone, tipped over, couldn't quite get hold of it. And the rebound, dear listeners.
This is getting exciting. You've got to be a sick kind of fucker to love an atmosphere like this.
Great move there. It's going to be a right-sided corner, Millwall.
Say, Amir is, without that, the calmest man in the house. We've had a shot scored. We've had a shot again. He's not flinched.
I mean, he's our new mascot. Good luck mascot.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah.
The lady with the Selfridges bag has taken a wrong turn, evidently.
Amir's attended 1-1-1. Well, presumably get through to the finish anyway.
I don't know if I should ask her if she wants an orange or not. She might be lost.
Left-sided corner, dear listeners, 77 minutes. It's going to come in now. Scott Malone takes deep. Murray Wallace is bouncing around, runs through to the goalkeeper.
She is Selfridges.
Mr. Den's needed.
Mr. Den's leaving the building.
Yeah.
This is the staff announcement. Mr. Den has left the stadium.
I was going to say the same thing.
I might lift that for a jingle. Mr. Den has left the stadium. It's Keith and Bell time for Jed. 82 minutes, dear listeners. Bradshaw's a good contender for man of the match as well. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I think the amount of effort and the goal and just the sheer determination. I mean, showed it there late in the game. He's still fighting to win a ball that's
but this is going back to it. This is going back to what we said pre-game. I think there are players that we've got there who might not necessarily click in how we play, but a lot of championship teams would buy or take a punt on, and I do think Bradshaw's one of them. I think
he's come into his own. I mean, he's played himself into the team, really.
Yeah, but that's what we were saying. That's what we said before the game, Nick, wasn't we? You've got players who might not necessarily have worked every week for us, but a lower half of the table, say mid-table, they take Bradshaw all day long.
Another substitution, listeners. This is Mason Bennett coming in for Tom Bradshaw. A very good round of applause for Tom Bradshaw. Good performance. Beanie trying to put one through there. Should bounce through.
What are you doing?
Oh, he's put it wide. The ball bounced through to the 15. Goal at his mercy. He's put it wide left.
And do you know what? They're the moments there where we all love Bartosz Białkowski, but there's no need for that. You know?
No, it's just sloppy defence.
There's no need.
Defence.
He's completely
in a situation in a game where we just want to keep it tight.
Yeah, exactly. 2 minutes ago, you want to keep it tight. He just absolutely flaps it.
There's a miserable face of Lee Bowyer up there. Look. Hey! There it is. Millwall 3, Birmingham 1. Man of the match, Aaron Paul. Who you going?
Tom Bradshaw.
Amir, Tom Bradshaw, number 9. Yeah, same. Michael.
Me for watching this. No, Tom Bradshaw.
I won't fight any of you. I'd also want to name check George Evans. Danny Mack.
My man of the match, my person match, Selfridges lady. Didn't know she was coming, ended up turning up, saw 4 goals, happy days.
Selfridges lady. There we go. Good win, Millwall. I thought we might have,
come on, let's go.
Might have let it slip at some point.
No, come on. Here it comes.
And there it comes. We're waiting for it. There we are, dear listeners. A rocking from the past. Huge thank you, Amir. Huge thank you, Aaron Paul. Michael Avery. Big thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Arrivederci Millwall. I've been given an executive lounge pass. Well, we'll see you after the break. In the executive lounge, no less.
Try and get Cav. Get his opinion. There we go.
Achtung, Millwall.
So we've gathered in the High Lord High Council chamber of the Exec Lounge. Gathered around the table here, we have Mr. Ryan Loftus.
Good afternoon. Enjoying the spoils of a win.
Spoils of a win. We've got Aaron, we've got Amir, we've got Harry.
Good afternoon. Very happy.
And Michael's dad.
Good afternoon.
Michael's dad. Avery Senior, Michael.
Michael's not here, it's just his dad thought he'd not coming over.
So who amongst us thought we were going to let that go at 2-1?
Me.
Who amongst us thought when Alex Pearce came in, which amongst us cursed?
The air did turn blue around me, I'm not going to lie.
I thought we closed it out quite nicely. I mean, the third goal was crucial, but I thought, who's man of the match, Harry? Who did you go for?
It's difficult. I think I don't like him, but I thought George Evans had probably his best game
I'd
in
agree
Millwall
with
support.
yeah.
Millwall shirt, brother. And but I thought Tom Bradshaw to a month ago is a night and day player, and I now understand why Neil Harris bought him for the first time.
He's played his way into the team, and you can see why. I mean, that was a nicely taken chance for the second goal, 2-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But then I think as well, like, he makes a Phobie better, and a Phobie makes Bradshaw better. It's beginning to become a partnership that, you know, I'm comfortable with that being our forward line. Which, when was the last time we could say that?
Long while. Not a Phobie's best game today, Ryan. Did you think? I thought he was a little bit off it today. How did you see it?
Yeah, it was a bit sloppy on the ball, but again, work rate off the ball kind of makes up for it, doesn't it? I think the fans love him, chanting his name at points.
Yeah, did you hear that? The Phobie song.
Unlucky not to get a goal. Yeah. And well, you know, I think he's not going to be brilliant every game. He just is a handful of defenders, and like Harry's saying, as a partnership with Bradshaw, seems to work really well. They bring the best out of each other. Yeah. So not his brightest game, but I think can't have a complaint about.
Who's your man of the match today? Did you go for?
It's tough. I think Evans is a good shout. I mean, his finish was really good. He was really good on the ball. Him and Mitchell, you know, we haven't really seen them two in midfield together. I thought Danny Mack was really good in attack and defence. He's obviously much more comfortable as a wing back than a full back.
I agree with that.
But he got forward really well. Obviously set up Evans' goal. Yeah. Got forward really well. Was combining with. He was almost looking like Marlon Romeo in disguise. How he's linking up with Jed Wallace.
Yeah. No, I thought it was an impressive performance, Danny Mack.
So I think impressive all round. I think Bradshaw would be in for a shout, Evans or Danny Mack for me.
But again, playing devil's advocate, Birmingham were very poor. Yeah, they had one shot which they scored from, but that's because they had a Premier League level centre forward. Yeah. I think you could argue we should have really got 4 or 5. Really, I mean, I'm not saying like attacking play, but I think Afobe had one that went wide.
Yeah.
There was another one that was saved as well. So really good teams.
Good day out of Millwall today, I think.
Yeah. And this is what we were saying before, that this is the first time since I was talking to Ryan about it a minute ago that I can't remember last time we scored 3 at home or last time we even scored or 3 in general this season. But
did we get 3 last season? We scored 3.
We would have done. We in a couple of games, but dead rubbers like at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that they were dead rubbers. They were dead rubbers.
Sheffield Wednesday second half we scored.
But the difference is, and the difference is in the argument is that if you had and I know they're far and away, but if you had a Fulham, Bournemouth, West Brom, teams in the top 6, would they have scored more goals today? And I think they probably would have done. Yeah, they probably would have.
But they got a better quality front line.
Yeah. I mean, scoring goals has never been our forte. I mean, that's the thing with scratching eyed at half time and being the last time Millwall were 2-0 up at half time in a league game. And I think it is the Nottingham Forest game pre-COVID that really looked like a turning point for Millwall. Yeah. So we don't score a load of goals, so for 3 to come along in one game that were all really well worked goals, two set pieces, but both of them different set pieces well worked. The third goal was really good, and we could have had 3, 4, or 4 or 5 even.
And I think as well, without putting words in his mouth, Aaron had a great question earlier on about
what was that question?
Basically, if you had a choice now between Afobe and Bradshaw, budget-wise, which one would you keep?
That's a good question. I mean, they're similar ages. I think Afobe's probably a couple of years older.
Yeah.
But to pick in between them is hard. I think, like Harry's saying, they seem to be working very well together. Whenever they're on their own, they both seem to have the same problem of being very isolated.
Gives you industry,
they both work really hard. But when
I think a fullback offers you more overall. So like, I think you can play a fullback as a 9, but you can also slot him in as a 10 if you need to.
Yeah.
I don't think
Afobe's probably a bit more dangerous in behind.
But I think Bradshaw, as good as he is, he only plays one way. Like, you can't ask him to do something else.
Bradshaw is a player that can play in a 2. I don't necessarily think he can play in a 1.
He can't lead a
so
9.
much less than what he is in a 2.
I think he looks like Bradshaw, and what you say about when Harris signed him, he looks, when he plays like he does today, he looks like a really good Lee Gregory replacement. Like, he's physical, he's not massively tall.
His finishing's better.
His finishing's much better. He's a much better finisher, but like Harry said, I think you can definitely see why he was brought in, because he works really hard, and with another strike partner alongside him, he seems to bring the best out of him. So
it is a shame that we were almost robbed of a Morrison-Bradshaw partnership. I know that sounds terrible. I generally think that we could have been even better with that in that season. We had a chance.
Can I say as well though, second half, I said it's an egg. Another solid game with us with 4 at the back.
Well, it's back 5 today.
No, was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Malone
but it's a very hybrid.
Malone
When you've got Malone and Murray, it's a very hybrid sort of system. I mean,
we attack down the left more than the right, which is mad for Millwall.
That's why I said a 4, because the amount of times that Malone was attacking, it looked like a 4.
It looks. That's the thing. It's not.
Malone almost plays as a 1.
Yeah, he starts so high up.
He's just like, it's literally, well, he can't defend, so let's just give him the ball.
Yeah, and when you've got Wallace, that's why I thought Cooper was good in the middle, because normally Cooper would play instead of Murray Wallace. But Cooper's was good in the middle today. Hutchinson good out on the right.
There was still a couple of times though with Cooper where he looks a little bit unsure.
He did.
Yeah, but I think that's match sharpness. I think to an extent.
I also agree that I think 1-0. Hutchinson is unreal. I mean,
great performance today.
I'll be totally honest. Harry, if he's not player of the season this year, he will never win player of the season in Millwall. Because he's just he shouldn't be at our club. He's too good. He doesn't get beat in one-on-ones. He wins everything. He heads everything.
Just solid.
His ball playing ain't great. Like, that's his worst asset of his game. But as a defender, he's second to none.
But if you've got a ball playing centre half next year, you
don't need to overstructure. I mean, is he the best free transfer Millwall have ever signed?
There's a lot of decent free transfers in this side.
I think there's a decent question where, at least in the last 5-10 years,
there's not been many centre backs he struggled for fitness at times, but when he plays, he's one of the best centre backs in the league. When he plays, captain's armband, you can trust him. He's taken us from League One up. He's been one of the best centre backs in the league for a long time. Like, there's not many better free transfers. Obviously, we never profited him, and we probably won't in terms of selling him on, which is sometimes what you want to benefit from. But in terms of performance, perspective,
it's not a loss,
he's been phenomenal. And I think there's not many players, and people point to me a lot. Obviously, Cooper's dropped out of form a bit now, but as a centre-back partnership, we paid about 300 grand for Cooper and Hutchinson for free. There's not many better centre-back players.
What makes me laugh is what they'd actually go for if you had them on contract. If they were at any other club, they wouldn't ever. It's this look down at us that happened with Wallace. It happened to a certain extent with Saville. Obviously, the business bring back we discussed earlier, but we are now starting for the first time in my time in following the club. Is that we're buying or getting in free transfers with resale value, which has been different, and that needs to continue for the club to thrive, really.
Yeah, it needs to be younger. I mean, Cooper. I think that's the biggest concern. I think with Cooper's downturn in form is that really. A season ago we could have got 10 million for him.
I was going to say business.
That's the thing. Business-wise, you want him to be, or even now you think a couple of years ago. But it's hard. It's always really hard to, because a club like Millwall, realistically, we have to sell our best players because a lot of the other ones don't have a load of value. So Cooper's probably going to be someone that will get sold.
So what did Aidan Flint go for? 8.
Yeah, he went for a lot to Cardiff.
And he went. When he went. So, what, you reckon, same? 8-ish?
And he's younger. Cooper's younger.
I think at the moment, at his level now, the way he's playing now, if someone offers 5 for him, you'd take it. Like the way he's playing at the moment.
Well, I think what did every contract?
Because he's not been great.
Centre-backs, English centre-backs, left-footed English centre-back who's 6'5". I reckon you get 10 million.
Yeah, but you're saying left-foot centre-back, 6'5", who's playing well. He's not had a good.
Yeah, but I think he is a good centre, and he's not yet 27. Like I think realistically, I think he's having a dip rather than he's not dropped. He missed what? no games in 2-3 years, and then he had a repeated shoulder injury.
Will he make the Premier League though, or does he need to get promoted with the team?
I think a team could gamble on him in the Premier League and bring him through.
There's one man, former Millwall man.
Sean Dyche.
Absolutely.
If Burnley signed James Tarkowski, if they could bring in Cooper for £10 million, I reckon that's a deal. Come
to Aaron, you're the oracle. Come on.
Because I think Cooper's better on his feet than people maybe give him credit for, but he also is probably better off not being a ball-playing centre-back. So
when Channel 4 started, dear listeners, there used to be a programme called After Dark where people would basically talk and get pissed, and they would carry on until there was a logical conclusion. And I think we've probably reached that point there with Ryan Loftus, as the player concerned is on the other side of the door. Thank you for listening to this intellectual conversation from the Executive Lounge. From the chaps at the Christmas do. We're going to have a drink now. Arrivederci Millwall.
Hi Nick, it's Angelo here. Has been at the game today. Obviously the best performance of the season by far. Obviously they've done it the whole 90 minutes, but just unbelievable performance from Billy Mitchell. The guy was just unbelievable today. I've always had my doubts about his physicality because he's not fast, he's not big, but every game now he's starting to prove me more and more wrong. The kid was just absolutely class today. He was all over the shop, country mile, man of the match. Brilliant performance by Billy. In my eyes, it was the Billy Mitchell show today. Fantastic performance and brilliant result. Come on, you Lions.
Hi, Nick. It's Matt Richards here, just coming away from the game. Yeah, great result. Really good performance. On the top from the start, really, and I was a bit worried that we weren't going to take advantage of that. But first goal, coming after the pressure, we were putting them under. And then we we should have been 2-0 up in the first half hour and just kind of got to come back in. But yeah, second goal, brilliant, just at the right time. 2-0 up half time, must have been dreaming. Bloody hell, when was the last time that happened? And just really good, even second half. I think the goal back and you start worrying a bit, but scored at the perfect time, 3-1. Great performances all round. Billy Mitchell was just immense. Phobie just didn't stopped giving up, and Bradshaw's just every game is getting better. The confidence is losing through him. So, yeah, great result. And actually, I thought George Evans was really good. I quite like George Evans. I know he gets a bit of stick, but he's a classy midfielder. He's always looking for a pass, and brilliant finish for the goal. So, great result. Come on, you Lions.
Hello, Nick. Graham Payne. That's entertainment. That's what we want. A proper Millwall performance today from start to finish. Gary Rowett has definitely changed his tactics at home. Bournemouth and today we attacked and looked like scoring goals. Tom Bradshaw and Bennett Phobie worked well and give us options now in front of goal. Even when Birmingham pulled a goal back today, we still took the game to them and we rewarded with a great goal from George Evans. Evans is someone who I've criticised on here, but today he played well in midfield. Others who deserve a mention, Jake Cooper, I think he had his best game of the season. Tom Bradshaw, who's in a rich vein of form, scoring goals, long may that continue. Then two of our own, Danny Mack, another solid performance. And then my man of the match, Billy Mitchell, who is getting better and better each time I see him. If he continues to progress at his current rate, we could have a real gem on our hands there. We now need to carry on like that at Peterborough. Come on, you Lions.
Senor Scalak here, following that excellent 3-1 win against Birmingham City. I thought that was arguably our best performance of the season, where we played consistently well for pretty much 90 minutes, bar their goal where we were a little bit sloppy, but it was, some good movement from Deeney and an excellent finish. But I thought we, on the balance of play, fully deserved the win. I think Rowett said after the game, we had 20 shots, 10 on target, which is just unheard of for this Millwall side. Arguably, again, we should have probably scored 4-5, but 3-1 was still a good scoreline for us and a comfortable win. And it was nice, to kind of relax, I guess, for the last 10 minutes of the game, knowing that Birmingham were just down and out and we were pretty dominant, pushing for that fourth. So I thought Rowett got it right. He's really been switching the formations around. Obviously, 2 up front again, and it's nice to see Afobe and Bradshaw look like they can play together. We like a strike partnership at Millwall, and those two seem to be forming something. Jed played quite well in the hole, had a lot of freedom to get around, and then the 2 midfielders, I thought Billy Mitchell again was absolutely excellent, probably man of the match, just didn't put a foot wrong all day. And his energy and intelligence on the ball is just unbelievable for his age and the amount of games that he's played so far. Also credit to George Evans. I thought we would probably start Kieftenbell Bell today because obviously he's playing against his old side. But obviously he came on and he was okay. But I think Evans, looked a little bit off the pace at times, a few misplaced passes, but on the whole, he does have a little bit of class about him at times, quite good, ball skills and obviously an excellent goal. Really just took his time and just placed it in the top left to seal that victory. Obviously, George Saville was a bit of a surprising omission. I have called for him to be dropped because I don't think he's been done enough to guarantee that start every week. And we saw today that I thought Mitchell and Evans on the whole were a brilliant midfield together. So, Saville's probably going to be sitting on the bench, I think, for the next couple of weeks until, someone slips up or we get an injury because I think that too worked very well with that formation at home. But yeah, excellent win. We needed that win desperately after a few disappointing results. But let's push on into Christmas because we're so close to that top 6. If we can just put 2 or 3 wins together, we'll be in there. But really impressed with the performance yesterday. I think it, as I say, most complete performance of the season. And it certainly gives you a lot of hope moving forward. We've got a winnable game at Peterborough on the weekend away from home, but we've got to make sure that we're solid at the back and we take our chances, which is something that we just didn't do at Hull last week. Anyway, come on you Lions.
Achtung, Millwall.
So there we are, dear listeners. Huge thank you to Mike Hayden, to Graham, to Angelo and to Matt Richards for leaving those messages for us. Do leave us your reaction, listeners. We do want to hear from you, period. But if you can leave us a message on the answer phone, that's 0208 144 0232. We do want to hear from you. It's wonderful to get these post-match reactions to yesterday's wonderful, terrific 3-1 home win over Birmingham City. Strongest Millwall performance since pre-COVID? I think it probably is, dear listeners. What do you make of it? I thought we really showed a complete all-round performance as per the post-match comments by Gary Rowett speaking to the press after that win yesterday. Certainly man of the match contenders, you can take your pick. A lot of plaudits flying around online on Millwall Twitter and social media. Billy Mitchell, Danny Mack, Tom Bradshaw. My choice yesterday, George Evans, for that tremendous goal, but also for his contribution to the game. But that's not to diminish any of those other names. I mean, Billy Mitchell, I wouldn't fight you if you put him forward as your man of the match. It's going to come down to a matter of opinion in the end. He's really maturing as a player, and combined with the perceptive passing yesterday, something we haven't seen for a little while from George Evans. I mean, some of the balls played into space to be chased down hard by Tom Bradshaw, who's really coming into his own increasingly in recent games. I think he's getting a run, he's putting in the effort, he's making some, he'll run all day for you and will chase down often 50-50 situations, 60-40 situations sometimes. So take your pick from any of those names for your man of the match. I've gone for George Evans, but I won't argue with any other choices. I also do want to mention, if I may, the back line, Murray Wallace, Jake Cooper and Sean Hutchinson yesterday. Birmingham were kept very quiet. I thought they looked very poor, but to do that implies that the defence was on its game yesterday. And, it's something we haven't always been able to say so much this season. But I thought yesterday they were closed out pretty much completely, apart from their goal, which was a moment of quality and class from players. I'm talking about Troy Deeney, lovely little passing move down the middle and an unstoppable shot. You've got to take your hat off to the footballing quality that we saw for that 2-1. Now, many's the time this season, listeners, you know what I'm talking about here, that we've gone a bit on the wobble and we've let games slip away from us. Rowett speaking after the game referred to that syndrome. We didn't see that yesterday. There was a lull, and I mentioned the lull in the course of the live comment that we did yesterday. So that was a moment where the game could have got away from us. 2-1 can easily become 2-2, and then you feel like you've really messed up. But as it was, we pressed onwards, and that tremendous goal with a terrific finish by George Evans. Hats off to Danny Mack for the work down the right to create that situation. But that was a marked difference. Now, is that going to be a turning point for the season? We've suffered some big losses with the loss of Ryan Leonard and Dan Ballard, announced the day before yesterday. Who knows? We've certainly got the opportunity. We are now sitting in 8th position, just below Stoke and Coventry in the crucial 6th spot in the table. I think Stoke have got 31 points to our 30, and Coventry with 33. I also want to. I mentioned on Twitter today how just prior to the first goal, I think I said something along the lines of how our set pieces haven't been so good this season. It was a really nice 1-2 move, wasn't it, to create the chance that fell eventually to Murray Wallace from close range, who buried it really nicely on 10 minutes. And another nice set piece move for the second goal, that bullet header from Tom Bradshaw on 41 minutes for 2-0. Hats off, work has been done. I think it's mentioned on the official club site and in the post-match reports of News at 10 and London News Online. That's paid off. Whatever's been done on the training field, we saw some evidence of it yesterday. So great stuff, terrific stuff. And then the superb George Evans finish that we've mentioned already to make it 3-1 and put the game out of sight just when you started to get a little bit itchy and scratchy. I know I was certainly getting so. Sat in block 1. Speaking after the game, Gary Rowett said it was a complete performance over the 90 minutes, and I think he's right. That's probably the most complete performance since we're going back to the fabled Nottingham Forest win, pre-COVID, that kind of time is certainly the strongest home performance in footballing terms that we've seen since. He says we started really well in a lot of games, but what we've not managed to do is sometimes score that first goal and press on, I'd say, as well. To Gary, and we did press on yesterday. We were excellent in the first half, he says, and excellent value for our lead. So, well done for that to the whole side that took the field yesterday. Picked out a few comments, listeners, from the Twitter. Duncan Kirk thought Billy Mitchell was different class yesterday. I do agree, Duncan. He played very well. He's really coming into his own. His statistics are unreal. He goes on to say from yesterday's match, it's so good to see him and Danny Mack coming through the youth academy and now pivotal to the first team. It's what Millwall is all about. I won't argue with that, Duncan. Charlie, Isle of Dogs, says we are so much better with Evans playing instead of George Saville. He's always looking for tactical forward passes. There's so much potential in him when other players get on his wavelength and attack the space that he sees. Really good performance. I mean, I've already said he's man of the match for me, Charlie. I know some will disagree with that, but I thought it was a really strong performance for the reasons that you've identified. And it's concurred here with Tony Monday. Absolutely, what Charlie's just said. With movement in front of him, Evans has something to aim for, and I think that's probably going to be crucial with Afobe and Bradshaw combining in a new strike partnership, as picked up by Kevin Fuller. I think we've found a new strike partnership, he says. Afobe and Bradshaw, the new Posse and Bridges. It's starting to come together. I like the association, Kevin. If we can develop to even a fraction of that partnership, then we're onto a good thing there. Tony L says Billy Mitchell just nicked man of the match for him. Seemed to have more freedom with Evans alongside him. Also did well. He also says that Afobe and Bradshaw may have had words because the service was sharper across the box and in the channels. No Jake Cooper 50-yard floated diags. Make you right, Tone. I mean, we've said it a few times over the course of this show. The quality of the balls forward allows the chances to be put home by our forwards, and that's the way forward for me. Number 7 from Twitter, #7. He says Sean Hutchinson has to win player of the season. He's been man of the match so many times. Unpopular opinion, he thinks he's more important than Jed. Interesting view. I've already said I thought the defence did really well yesterday, and that kind of backs that up. And the last comment I've picked out, DV, is Dan Ballard's injury going to be one of those strange blessings, DV asks. It forced Gary Rowett into a more traditional formation, and the team looked balanced with everyone knowing exactly what they were doing. First time this season, we've had 90 minutes of proper Mill on and off the pitch. Amen to that, DV. Amen to that, mate. I do hope Dan Ballard gets well very, very soon, and Ryan Leonard, because both are quality players, but I can't disagree with those comments. Just to close us out, do have a listen to the Wall Talk episode. It was a real honour to be invited into the club to do that Wall Talk podcast. You may have seen it floating around on social media. Really enjoyed it. It was an odd experience to be interviewed, but a strangely enjoyable one, so do check that out. Also, if you can support our Achtung calendar, I'd really appreciate it. It's a 50th anniversary commemoration of 1971-72, my first season as a Millwall fan, the heartbreak, near miss, almost promotion season of 71-72. It's say so myself. I really like this calendar. It's got some classic images: Harry Cripps, Barry Kitch, Derek Posse, Bridges we've mentioned already. It's going to support the Lions Food Hub, and at least 10 quid of your donation, hopefully more depending on how much revenue we get, will go into the Lions Food Hub. There's just a couple of quid postage and packing on top of that to pay for the stamps, but we'll see how the revenues go. But we're certainly looking to get a decent donation to the cracking Lions Food Hub, especially at this Christmas time of the year when it's difficult. One last shout out for Neil Fissler's Wonderwork, Meisterwerk, Who's Who, Mill Who's Who, 1999 on victorpublishing.co.uk. It's an ideal Christmas present, dear listeners, for the Mill fan in your life. Do check it out. And seriously, finally, it was wonderful yesterday to meet up with all the boys. We've never actually been in the same place all at the same time. We had a pre-Christmas drink over at the Salt Key in Rotherhithe. And odd as it is in this modern Zoom age, Zoom calls, I'd never met Mike Hayden, lovely bloke, really nice to shake hands with him and say thanks for all of his input on the show over time. I've met the other boys individually and on odd occasions, obviously Aaron when we used to do the live stuff at Love Sport, and Ryan I've met on odd occasions. Harry, I've met him a few times obviously, and Michael. But never have we all been sat around a table at the same time. It's a really odd thing to say, really, when you weigh up how many shows now we've put together between the group. So great to meet Aaron, Ryan, Harry, Michael, and Mike Hayden yesterday. Really enjoyed the day, and thank you, boys, for all that you do for the show. I also want to give a shout out to my history co-collaborator and co-author of that wonderful book, Who's Who, Mr. Neil Fissler. Between our group, I think we bring a lot of different voices, different inputs, and I really am enjoying doing AchtungMillwall. It's been a difficult year for me personally this year as we approach Christmas, but I've got to say I'm really enjoying the show, and it's wonderful to be working with such great individuals. So thank you to all of those boys, and thank you to you too, dear listener, for tuning into this edition of AchtungMillwall. Hopefully we're going to be back next week after the Peterborough game. So until then, I think it's time to say it. It's time to say Arrivederci Millwall. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.
Thank you for listening to AchtungMillwall. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a cheeky little review. Arrivederci Millwall. Till next time.
Who do you want to watch?